And our program guest this morning is the Shadow Minister for Immigration, Scott Morrison. But before then, we'll see what the papers are saying about this and other issues this morning. And Asylum Seekers, The Age has some rather telling details of what the families lose financially, Mark Kenny, and when they try in vain to come to Australia.
Yes, this is an interesting story, Barry. It's quite disturbing. One of the families that's involved, a woman has paid $55,000 to get herself, her sister and three minors to Australia. They've arrived here and they've now found that they're going to be sent back to Malaysia. So these are Hazara Afghans, and it's the very hard edge of this policy, the hardest edge of this policy, and I think it shows the sort of conundrum the government's in, but it's a deliberate one. The worse this looks here, then the more publicity it gets, and that's what they're actually trying to do. They're trying to maximise the negative publicity about this. I think Sarah Hanson-Young's right. They are speaking to a section of the electorate, you know, Western Sydney and the sort of Howard Battlers and those sort of people that Labor's been looking to try and get back. That they've lost recently, but they're also sending a message across the seas that this is what happens if you get to Australia. And so, as I say, the more publicity, the more likely it is to work.
Well, what about the flip side of this, though, Annabelle? And that's on page 1 of the Age, and it's sometimes overlooked that there are 4,000 people who actually will get a break.
Yeah, you know, reading this story, which is an interview with a Burmese family that were told 2 weeks ago in Malaysia that they'd be coming over, they're being flown to Melbourne, I think, tomorrow. These people are the reason why the left wing of the Labor Party aren't going as berserk about this as you would normally expect. And, like, you know, we're putting unaccompanied children on a plane to Malaysia to some very uncertain conditions. You'd think, wouldn't you, that half the Labor Party would be having a full meltdown about this. And the reason they're not is because we are increasing our refugee intake with families like this one that's featured on the front page of The Age. Now, they are an interesting look at a family who do not have the money to pay people smugglers. They're kind of the forgotten people in the queues who are unable to undertake the drastic measures that some of the people who arrive here by boat do.